When HOA President Karen Mitchell cuts the power to Marcus Thompson's home at 2:47 a.m., she doesn't know two critical things: his 8-year-old daughter Emma is on a life support ventilator, and Marcus is an FBI agent. Karen's cruelty just became a federal crime with deadly consequences. Before you watch full story, comment below from which country are you watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more amazing stories. The lights went out at 2:47 a.m. I jolted awake to the sound every parent of a medically fragile child dreads, the shrill alarm of a ventilator switching to battery backup. My heart stopped before my feet hit the floor. "Emma!" I screamed, racing down the hallway. My daughter's room glowed with the eerie red emergency light from her ventilator. The machine beeped frantically. Emma's eyes were wide with fear, her small chest struggling against the reduced air flow. The battery backup would last only 4 hours. Maybe less. I checked the main breaker. Everything was off. Not tripped. Off. Someone had deliberately shut down our power. My hands trembled as I switched everything back on. The lights blazed to life. Emma's ventilator hummed back to full power. I held her tiny hand, watching her breathing stabilize, feeling my own heart slowly stop racing. "It's okay, sweetheart," I whispered, brushing her blonde hair back. "Daddy's here. You're safe." But she wasn't safe. Someone had just tried to kill my daughter. Emma was 8 years old. She had muscular dystrophy. Her muscles had grown weaker every year until her lungs could no longer work on their own. The ventilator breathed for her. Without it, she had minutes. Not hours. Minutes. I sat with her until dawn, holding her hand, watching her sleep. Tears rolled down my face. Silent. Heavy. My beautiful girl. My entire world. Someone had put her in danger. The next morning, I found the note. It was taped to our front door, written in angry red marker. "Your electricity usage is unacceptable. The HOA has implemented mandatory power restrictions. Your excessive consumption violates community standards. Further violations will result in additional enforcement actions. Karen Mitchell, HOA President." My blood turned to ice, then to fire. I knew exactly who Karen Mitchell was. Everyone in Meadowbrook community knew her. She was the HOA president who had made our neighborhood her personal kingdom. She measured lawn heights with a ruler. She reported families for having the wrong shade of mailbox. She fined elderly residents for parking on their own driveways. But this? This was attempted murder. My phone rang. It was Karen. "Mr. Thompson, I hope you received my notice," her voice dripped with false sweetness. "Your electric bill is 3 times higher than your neighbor's. It's simply unacceptable. You cut power to my daughter's ventilator," I said quietly. Too quietly. "I shut off power to your meter at 2:45 a.m. to teach you a lesson about conservation," she snapped. "Don't be dramatic. A few hours without electricity won't kill anyone. My daughter is on life support." Silence. Then, "Well, you should have disclosed that to the HOA. Your medical equipment violates our utility usage policies. I'll be issuing a fine of $5,000. You have 30 days to pay or face foreclosure proceedings." She hung up. I stood there, phone in my hand, shaking with rage. This woman had endangered my daughter's life and was now threatening to take our home. She had no idea who she was dealing with. "My name is Marcus Thompson. For 15 years, I've been a special agent with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. I've taken down organized crime syndicates, corruption rings, and domestic terrorists. I've faced armed criminals without flinching. But nothing had ever made me this angry. I took the day off work. I told my supervisor it was a family emergency. That wasn't a lie. First, I called my wife, Rebecca. She was a nurse working the night shift at the hospital. When I told her what happened, she broke down crying. She could have died, Marcus, Rebecca sobbed. Our baby could have died. I know, I said. But she didn't. And I'm going to make sure this never happens again. I spent the morning gathering evidence. I pulled the data logs from Emma's ventilator. The power cut had lasted exactly 17 minutes. 17 minutes when my daughter's life hung by a battery. I checked our security camera footage. At 2:43 a.m., a figure approached our electrical meter. Karen Mitchell. Her face was clearly visible in the infrared. She opened the meter box with a key and flipped the main breaker off. Then she walked away, looking pleased with herself. Attempted murder. Caught on camera. But I wanted more than just her. I wanted to understand how someone could be this cruel. I started digging into Karen's background. What I found made my stomach turn. Karen Mitchell had been HOA president for 6 years. During that time, she had filed 847 violation notices. She had initiated foreclosure proceedings against 12 families. 3 elderly residents had been forced to sell their homes because of her fines. One had died of a heart attack the day he received his foreclosure notice. She had ruined lives for sport. I found a pattern. Karen targeted the vulnerable. Single mothers. Elderly residents. Disabled families. Anyone who couldn't fight back. There was more. Karen's husband, David Mitchell, was a real estate developer. Every home that went into foreclosure, David's company bought it at auction for pennies on the dollar. They would flip it and resell it at market rate. It was a scam. A cruel, calculated scam. And my daughter had almost died because of it. That afternoon, Karen sent another letter. This one threatened immediate legal action. She wanted us out of our home within 60 days. Emma asked me why I looked so angry. Daddy, are you okay? Her voice was soft, computerized through her communication device. She couldn't speak on her own anymore. The ventilator made that impossible. I knelt beside her wheelchair and took her small hand. I'm okay, sweetheart. Just dealing with some grown-up stuff. Is it the mean lady? Emma's eyes filled with tears. I heard you and Mommy talking. Is she trying to make us leave? My heart shattered. My little girl, who faced pain and struggle every single day with such courage, was now afraid of losing her home. No one is making us leave, I promised. Daddy won't let that happen. Emma wiped her eyes. Daddy, why is she so mean? I didn't have an answer. How do you explain cruelty to a child? How do you tell your daughter that some people are just evil? I don't know, baby, I whispered. But I'm going to fix this. That night, I couldn't sleep. I sat in Emma's room, watching her chest rise and fall with each mechanical breath. The ventilator hummed its steady rhythm. The sound that kept my daughter alive. The sound Karen Mitchell had tried to silence. I thought about all the times Emma had smiled despite her pain. The way she painted pictures with her eyes using adaptive technology. How she loved when I read her stories before bed. Her favorite was about a princess who saved herself. Emma was my princess. And I was going to save her from this monster. I contacted the other families Karen had targeted. There were so many. Margaret Santos was 73. Karen had fined her $6,000 for having a vegetable garden in her backyard. The HOA rules said unsightly lawn modifications were forbidden. Margaret was on a fixed income. She couldn't pay. Karen initiated foreclosure. Margaret lost the home she had lived in for 30 years. James and Linda Parker had a son with autism. He needed a specific routine, including playing in their backyard during certain hours. The noise disturbed Karen. She filed noise complaints every single day. Then she fined them. Then she started foreclosure proceedings. They sold their home at a loss just to escape. David Chen was a veteran with PTSD. He had a service dog. Karen claimed the dog violated HOA pet size restrictions. She demanded he get rid of his medical support animal or face fines. When he refused, she made his life hell. Constant violations. Constant threats. David eventually had a breakdown and moved across the country to get away from her. Story after story. Life after life. Karen Mitchell had destroyed them all. And she had almost killed my daughter. I compiled everything. Every complaint. Every foreclosure. Every violation. I built a timeline. I documented the pattern of targeting vulnerable residents. I connected it all to David Mitchell's real estate purchases. Then I made some calls. I let Karen think she was winning. I didn't respond to her letters. I didn't fight back. I let her believe I was just another victim who would roll over and accept defeat. She escalated. More letters. More fines. More threats. She sent an inspector to our home. He claimed our wheelchair ramp violated HOA guidelines for architectural consistency. $5,000 fine. She claimed Emma's medical equipment was commercial equipment, not allowed in residential areas. $10,000 fine. She said our frequent medical supply deliveries violated parking rules. $3,000 fine. $23,000 in fines. All designed to force us into foreclosure so her husband could buy our home for nothing. Rebecca was terrified. Marcus, we're going to lose everything. No, I said. We're not. Trust me. I filed a response to the HOA. I requested a hearing. I wanted Karen on the record. I wanted her to speak. To explain herself. To bury herself with her own words. The hearing was set for 3 weeks later. The HOA meeting room was packed. I had made sure of it. I contacted every family Karen had hurt. I asked them to come. To bear witness. To stand together. They came. All of them. Margaret Santos sat in the front row, using a walker. James and Linda Parker were there with their son. David Chen flew in from California. There were others. So many others. Karen walked in like a queen. She smiled smugly at me. She had no idea what was coming. This hearing is about the Thompson family's violations of HOA regulations, Karen began. They have accumulated over $20,000 in fines for various infractions. Additionally, their electricity usage is 3 times the community average, creating an unfair burden on our shared resources. My daughter is on life support, I said calmly. Her ventilator, oxygen concentrator, feeding pump, and medical equipment require electricity 24 hours a day. That's why our usage is higher. That's not our problem, Karen snapped. You chose to live here. You must follow our rules. Even if following your rules kills my daughter. Don't be dramatic, Mr. Thompson. Your daughter is fine. She's fine because I turned the power back on in time. You shut off our electricity in the middle of the night. You endangered her life. Karen's face flushed. I have the authority to enforce utility restrictions. You have the authority to attempt murder. The room went silent. Karen's lawyer jumped up. That's a serious accusation, Mr. Thompson. I hope you have evidence. I smiled. I do. I pulled out a folder. Inside was everything. The security footage of Karen shutting off our power. The data logs from Emma's ventilator showing the exact time the power failed. Medical documentation from Emma's doctor explaining that power loss to her ventilator was life-threatening. Statements from our neighbors confirming they had no power issues that night. Karen's face went white. You deliberately cut power to a home with a medically dependent child, I said. You put my daughter's life at risk. And then you tried to cover it up by claiming it was about electricity usage policies. Karen's lawyer was frantically whispering to her. She shook him off. So what? She shouted. So what if I cut your power? Maybe if you can't afford to take care of your daughter properly, you shouldn't be living here. This is a community for successful people, not charity cases. The room exploded. People shouted. Margaret Santos was crying. David Chen looked like he wanted to climb over the table. Karen kept going. She couldn't stop herself. I am tired of dealing with people who drag down our property values. Disabled kids, old people who can't maintain their homes, veterans with their problems, you all need to leave. This community is for people who contribute, not people who take. It was perfect. She had said it all. On the record. With witnesses. I pulled out my FBI badge. Karen Mitchell, I'm a special agent with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. You're under arrest for attempted manslaughter, assault, conspiracy to commit fraud, and violation of the Americans with Disabilities Act. Karen's mouth opened and closed like a fish. You can't, this is an HOA matter, you have no jurisdiction. Actually, I do, I said. You committed a federal crime. You deliberately endangered the life of a disabled child. You violated federal disability protections. And you've been running a criminal conspiracy with your husband to defraud homeowners. 2 FBI agents I had brought as backup stepped forward. They handcuffed Karen right there in the meeting room. No, she screamed. No, you can't do this. I have rights. I'm the HOA president. You tried to kill my daughter, I said quietly. Your rights ended when you flipped that breaker. They took her away. She was still screaming. Then I turned to David Mitchell, who had been sitting silently in the corner. You're next, I said. We're looking into every foreclosure, every property sale, every dollar you made off the families your wife terrorized. Wire fraud, real estate fraud, conspiracy. You're going away for a long time. David ran. He actually ran out of the room. It didn't matter. We had agents waiting outside. The case moved quickly. Karen was charged with attempted manslaughter, child endangerment, and federal disability rights violations. The evidence was overwhelming. She had no defense. David was charged with 14 counts of wire fraud, conspiracy, and racketeering. The FBI seized all his assets, including the homes he had fraudulently acquired. The local news picked up the story. It went viral. HOA president cuts power to child's ventilator, was the headline. The public was outraged. Karen's lawyer tried to negotiate a plea deal. I made sure the prosecutor knew I wanted the maximum sentence. The trial lasted 3 days. The jury deliberated for 47 minutes. Guilty on all counts. Karen Mitchell was sentenced to 15 years in federal prison. No parole. She would be 70 years old when she got out. David Mitchell got 12 years. But that wasn't enough. Not for me. I spent the next 6 months working with the FBI's white-collar crime division. We traced every family Karen and David had hurt. We documented every fraudulent foreclosure. Then we started giving back. Margaret Santos got her home back. The FBI seized it from David's company and returned it to her. We also got her the $6,000 in fines she had paid, plus damages. James and Linda Parker were compensated for their losses. So was David Chen. Every family that had been forced out got justice. The HOA itself was dissolved. A federal investigation found that Karen had embezzled HOA funds for years. She had used community money for personal expenses while hitting families with excessive fines. We formed a new community association. This one had rules against discrimination. Rules protecting disabled residents. Rules against excessive fines. Margaret Santos was elected president. She ran it with kindness. The day Karen was sentenced, I came home and told Emma everything. She was old enough to understand. The mean lady is going to jail? Emma asked through her communication device. Yes, sweetheart. For a very long time. Emma was quiet for a moment. Then tears rolled down her face. I was so scared, Daddy. When the lights went out, I thought I was going to die. I held her close, careful not to disturb her ventilator tubes. I know, baby. I know. But you're safe now. You're always going to be safe. Why did she hate me? Emma asked. I never did anything to her. This was the question I had been dreading. How do you explain to a child that some people hate for no reason? That some people see vulnerability as weakness to be exploited? She didn't hate you specifically, sweetheart, I said carefully. She hated anyone who was different from her. Anyone who needed help. Anyone who showed that not everyone is the same. But that's her weakness, not yours. You are the strongest person I know. Emma smiled. It was a small, sad smile, but it was real. I painted something for you, she said. She guided her eye-tracking device to show me. On the screen was a digital painting she had made. It showed our house, bright and cheerful, with all the lights on. In the window, you could see a small figure in a wheelchair. Above the house, she had painted words, "Home is where love lives." I broke down. Right there, holding my daughter, I cried. Great, heaving sobs that I had been holding back for months. Daddy, don't cry, Emma said softly. We won. We get to stay home. She was right. We had won. Not just the legal battle. We had won something bigger. We had proven that love is stronger than hate. That justice is real. That protecting the vulnerable matters. 6 months after the trial, I received a letter. It was from prison. From Karen. I almost threw it away. But curiosity got the better of me. Inside was a single page, handwritten. Mr. Thompson. I know you will never forgive me. I don't expect you to. I don't deserve forgiveness. I have spent 6 months in here thinking about what I did. About your daughter. About all the families I hurt. I was wrong. So completely, horribly wrong. I told myself I was maintaining standards. Protecting property values. Doing what was best for the community. But I was just being cruel. I enjoyed the power. I enjoyed making people afraid of me. When I cut your power that night, I didn't think about your daughter as a real person. I just saw her as a problem to solve. An inconvenience. A violation of my rules. I didn't see her as a little girl who was scared. Who needed help. Who deserved kindness. I am sorry. I know those words mean nothing. I know I can never undo what I did. But I am sorry. I hope your daughter is okay. I hope she knows that what I did wasn't her fault. She didn't deserve any of it. I will spend every day for the rest of my life regretting what I did. I'm sorry. Karen Mitchell. I read the letter 3 times. Then I folded it up and put it in my desk drawer. Was it genuine? I didn't know. Maybe prison had changed her. Maybe she was just trying to feel better about herself. It didn't matter. The apology wasn't for me anyway. It was for her. Life slowly returned to normal. Or as normal as it could be. Emma continued her physical therapy. Her condition was degenerative, but we were making the most of every day. She started an online support group for kids with disabilities. She wanted to help others who felt afraid or alone. Daddy, I got a message from a girl in Texas, Emma told me one evening. She has muscular dystrophy too. She was scared about starting school. I told her it would be okay. That being different is okay. My heart swelled with pride. My daughter, who had faced so much pain, was using her experience to help others. Rebecca and I threw Emma a big party for her 9th birthday. We invited everyone from the new community association. Margaret brought a cake. David Chin sent a gift from California. The Parker family came with their son. It wasn't just a birthday party. It was a celebration. A celebration of survival. Of justice. Of community. Emma blew out her candles with help from her breath-controlled switch. She made a wish. "What did you wish for, sweetheart?" Rebecca asked. "I can't tell you, or it won't come true," Emma said, smiling. "But it's a good wish. I had my own wish. I wished for more days like this. More moments of joy. More time with my daughter." The case had unexpected consequences. Other families around the country started coming forward with similar stories. HOAs that targeted disabled residents. Communities that made life impossible for people who were different. The FBI opened investigations in 7 states. New laws were passed protecting disabled homeowners from discriminatory HOA practices. It became a federal crime to cut utilities to homes with medical equipment. I was asked to speak at a congressional hearing about HOA abuse. I brought Emma with me. She sat beside me in her wheelchair, her ventilator humming softly. When it was my turn to speak, I looked at the senators and representatives. "My daughter is alive today because I had the resources and knowledge to fight back," I said. "But what about the families who don't? What about the elderly woman on a fixed income who can't afford a lawyer? What about the disabled veteran who just wants to be left in peace? They deserve protection too." I gestured to Emma. "This is why we need federal protections. Because every person, no matter their abilities, deserves to feel safe in their own home. No HOA president should have the power to endanger someone's life. No one should be forced to choose between their health and their home." The room was silent. Then Emma activated her communication device. "I just want to live," her computerized voice said. "I want to paint pictures and talk to my friends and be happy. I can't do that if I'm scared all the time. Please help kids like me." There wasn't a dry eye in the room. The legislation passed unanimously. It was named Emma's Law. Emma turned 12 on a bright Sunday morning in May. She was weaker now. The disease had progressed. She needed more support, more equipment, more care. But she was still fighting. Still smiling. Still my brave little girl. We had moved to a new house. A fully accessible one with wide doorways, a roll-in shower, and a bedroom big enough for all her medical equipment. No HOA. Just a quiet neighborhood with kind neighbors. Rebecca had started a nonprofit to help families with medically complex children. She provided support, resources, and advocacy. She made sure no one else had to face what we faced alone. I had been promoted at the FBI. I now led a task force investigating elder abuse and disability discrimination. Karen's case had opened my eyes to how many vulnerable people were being exploited. I was determined to stop it. But the best change was in Emma herself. She had grown into an incredible young woman. She had written a book about living with disability. It was published by a major publisher. She did virtual school visits, talking to kids about acceptance and kindness. She had 30,000 followers on social media where she shared her art and her story. She was making a difference. My daughter, who had nearly died because of one woman's cruelty, was now helping thousands of people. On her birthday, she got a letter. It was from a girl in Ohio who had read her book. "Dear Emma, thank you for writing your book. I have cerebral palsy and I use a wheelchair. Kids at school used to be mean to me. But after my teacher read your book to our class, everything changed. Now I have friends. Now people see me as a person, not just a disability. You saved me. Thank you. Love, Sarah." Emma cried when she read it. Happy tears. Daddy, I helped someone, she said. You help people every day, sweetheart, I told her. You show people what courage looks like. What strength really means. You're a hero. I'm not a hero, Emma said. I'm just me. That's what makes you a hero, I said. 15 years felt like forever and no time at all. Emma was 23 now. She had graduated from college online with a degree in social work. She was working as an advocate for people with disabilities. Her condition had stabilized somewhat with new treatments. She lived independently with a care assistant. She was thriving. Then I got a call from the Bureau of Prisons. Karen Mitchell was being released. Emma surprised me. I want to meet her, she said. What? No. Absolutely not. Daddy, I need to. I need to look her in the eye and tell her that she didn't break me. That I survived. That I won. We arranged a meeting at a coffee shop. Karen walked in looking nothing like the woman I remembered. She was thin, frail, with completely white hair. She walked with a cane. Prison had aged her decades. She saw Emma and froze. Emma sat in her wheelchair, ventilator humming softly. She had grown into a beautiful young woman with confidence that radiated from her. Hello, Karen, Emma said. Karen's hands shook. I don't know what to say. Then listen, Emma said. I'm going to tell you a story. It's about a little girl who almost died because a cruel woman decided that rules were more important than life. That little girl was terrified. She had nightmares for years. Karen's eyes filled with tears. But that little girl survived, Emma continued. She grew up and decided that she would spend her life making sure no one else ever felt that afraid. So she wrote books. She gave speeches. She changed laws. She helped thousands of people. Emma paused. You tried to kill me. You failed. Not only did I survive, I thrived. I made my life mean something. Can you say the same? Karen broke down sobbing. I'm so sorry. I was cruel. I was evil. I destroyed lives because I enjoyed having power over people. I deserve everything that happened to me. Yes, you do, Emma said simply. But I didn't come here for your apology. I came here so you could see what you failed to destroy. I came here so you could see that kindness is stronger than cruelty. That love is stronger than hate. Karen couldn't stop crying. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Emma looked at her for a long moment. Then she did something that shocked me. I forgive you, Emma said. What? I couldn't help it. Emma looked at me. Daddy, holding on to anger was only hurting me. She's already lost everything. That's punishment enough. She turned back to Karen. I forgive you. Not because you deserve it. But because I deserve peace. You don't get to take up space in my head anymore. Karen just kept crying. Thank you. I don't deserve it, but thank you. Emma nodded. Goodbye, Karen. I hope you find a way to do something good with whatever time you have left. We left. Karen sat alone at that table, crying. A year later, I heard that Karen had died. Heart attack. She was 71. She had spent her last year volunteering at a disability rights organization. She worked in the office, stuffing envelopes, making phone calls, doing whatever they would let her do. She gave every penny of her social security check to the organization. She wrote a final letter before she died. It was addressed to Emma. Dear Emma. You gave me something I didn't deserve. Forgiveness. Grace. A chance to see that I could still do something good before I died. I spent my last year trying to help people like you. It doesn't erase what I did. Nothing can. But maybe, in some small way, I helped someone. You are an incredible person. You turned the worst thing I ever did into something beautiful. You became an advocate. A voice for people who need one. A light in the darkness. I am so deeply sorry for what I did to you. Sorry doesn't even begin to cover it. But I want you to know that meeting you, seeing what you became, changed me. You showed me what real strength looks like. Thank you for forgiving me. I didn't deserve it. But I'm grateful for it. I hope you have a beautiful life. I hope you keep helping people. I hope you know how special you are. Goodbye, Emma. And thank you. Karen. Emma cried when she read it. We all did. Do you regret forgiving her? Rebecca asked. No, Emma said. I don't. Because forgiveness wasn't about her. It was about me. It was about choosing to be the kind of person who responds to hate with love. Who responds to cruelty with kindness. That's who I want to be. Emma is 28 now. She published her third book last month. She has a YouTube channel with over 1 million subscribers. She consults with major companies on disability inclusion. She's been nominated for humanitarian awards. But more than any of that, she's happy. She has friends. A community. A life filled with purpose and meaning. Her ventilator still hums beside her. It always will. But it's not a reminder of what was taken from her. It's a reminder of what she survived. What she overcame. Rebecca and I are both retired now. We spend our time traveling with Emma, helping with her advocacy work, and enjoying our grandchildren. Yes, Emma's younger cousin named his daughter after her. Sometimes, late at night, I think about that moment when the lights went out. When I ran to Emma's room, terrified that I would lose her. That moment changed everything. It led to justice. To new laws. To thousands of families being protected. One woman's cruelty became the catalyst for change. But more importantly, it showed me what my daughter was truly made of. It showed me that she had a strength I couldn't have imagined. A capacity for forgiveness I didn't possess. A determination to turn pain into purpose. Emma didn't just survive what Karen did to her. She transformed it. She took the worst moment of her life and used it to make the world better. That's the real story. Not about revenge. Not about punishment. It's about a little girl who refused to let cruelty define her. Who chose love over hate. Who turned her pain into power. It's about Emma. And she's just getting started. The documentary premiered at Sundance Film Festival. The Ventilator, Emma Thompson's story of survival and forgiveness, had been 3 years in the making. It told the complete story, from that terrible night to Emma's advocacy work to Karen's final redemption. Emma attended the premiere. She was 43 now. She had gray streaks in her blonde hair. Her face had lines from years of smiling despite pain. She was in her custom wheelchair, ventilator quietly humming, surrounded by her family. I was 72. Rebecca was 70. We sat on either side of our daughter, holding her hands. The theater was packed. Advocates, politicians, families affected by HOA abuse, people Emma had helped over the years. Everyone had come to see her story. The film ended with Emma speaking directly to the camera. People ask me if I'm angry about what happened to me, she said. The truth is, I was. For a long time, I was so angry. Angry at Karen. Angry at the situation. Angry at my own body for failing me. She paused. But anger is exhausting. And I had a choice. I could spend my life being angry at what was done to me, or I could spend my life doing something about it. I chose action. I chose love. I chose forgiveness. Her eyes, still bright, still fierce, looked directly at the audience. If you're watching this and you're facing discrimination, abuse, or cruelty because of a disability, I want you to know something. You are not a problem. You are not a burden. You are a human being with infinite worth. And there are people who will fight for you. Laws that will protect you. Communities that will embrace you. Don't let anyone make you feel less than. Don't let cruelty win. Stand up. Speak out. And know that you're not alone. The screen faded to black. The theater exploded in applause. People stood. They cheered. They cried. Emma smiled. That beautiful, radiant smile that had gotten her through so much pain. "Did I do okay, Daddy?" she asked. I couldn't speak. My throat was too tight with emotion. So I just nodded and held her hand. She had done more than okay. She had changed the world. Later that night, at the after-party, a young girl in a wheelchair approached Emma. She looked about 10 years old. She had a ventilator just like Emma's. Her mother stood behind her, tears streaming down her face. "Miss Thompson," the girl said shyly. "I'm Lily. I have muscular dystrophy too." Emma's face lit up. "Hi, Lily. It's so nice to meet you. I watched all your videos," Lily said. "When I got diagnosed last year, I was really scared. But then I found your channel. You helped me feel less alone." Emma reached out and took Lily's hand. "You are never alone, sweetheart. There's a whole community of us. We're warriors." Lily's mother stepped forward. "You don't know what you've done for us." For her. She was so depressed after her diagnosis. She didn't want to go outside. Didn't want to see friends. Then she found you. And everything changed. You gave her hope. "Hope is powerful," Emma said softly. "It kept me going through the darkest times. I'm so glad I could pass it on to you, Lily." Lily looked at Emma with wide, admiring eyes. "When I grow up, I want to be just like you. I want to help people too." Emma smiled. "Then you will. Because being like me doesn't mean being in a wheelchair or having a ventilator. It means choosing kindness. Choosing courage. Choosing to make the world better however you can. And I can already see that spark in you." Lily beamed. It was the kind of smile that could light up a room. Her mother mouthed, "Thank you," to Emma, her eyes overflowing with gratitude. I watched this exchange, my heart swelling with pride. This was Emma's true legacy. Not the laws that had been passed. Not the books she had written. But the lives she had touched. The hope she had given. The future she had inspired. Today, Emma Thompson is 51 years old. She's outlived every doctor's prediction. Her ventilator still hums beside her. Technology has improved. Emma has helped design some of those improvements. Rebecca passed away 2 years ago. Cancer. Emma held her mother's hand as she took her last breath. "I'm 80 now. But I wake up every morning grateful. Grateful that I got to be Emma's father. Grateful that I could protect her when she needed it most." Last week, Emma received the Presidential Medal of Freedom. The president called her a beacon of hope and a testament to the indomitable human spirit. Emma gave a speech at the White House. She talked about that night 23 years ago. About Karen. About forgiveness. About choosing love over hate. "That night could have ended me," Emma said. "But instead, it began me. It showed me who I was meant to be." She looked directly at the camera. "To every person who has ever felt powerless, you are not. To every person who has been told they're a burden, you are not. Your life has value. Your voice has power. Use it." The room erupted in applause. After the ceremony, Emma and I sat in the White House gardens. "Daddy," Emma said quietly. "I've had a full life. An amazing life. I've done everything I wanted to do. I've helped people. I've made a difference. What more could anyone ask for? More time, I whispered. I want more time with you. We've been so lucky, Daddy. We got 33 extra years that no one thought we'd have. We didn't waste a single day. She was right. We hadn't wasted a day. I'm not afraid, Emma said. Because you showed me that love is stronger than fear. We sat there as the sun set, father and daughter, holding hands. That night 23 years ago, Karen Mitchell tried to silence my daughter. Instead, she gave Emma her voice. And that voice echoes still.